Good morning, delegates, advisors, and esteemed guests. Welcome to San Diego Regional Junior Model United Nations, Session 48. My name is Daniel Bainey, and it has been my honor to serve as one of this year's Assistant Secretary Generals here at JMUN. Our conference is now in its 48th year, making it the longest-running conference west of the Mississippi River. This year, we are excited to host over 300 delegates from grades 6th through 9th, from schools from all over San Diego, and representing countries from just about every corner of the world. This year, our topics encompass the dynamic situation of today's world, from the humanitarian crisis in Yemen to the legality of international organizations, and to the historical lessons that can be learned from our Historical Crisis Committee and the Meiji Restoration. Before we get started with debate, I hope that all of you delegates can have an open mind to collaboration and diplomacy over these next 2 days and truly take something away from your committee topics and fellow delegates. Now, I would like to pass the mic to my fellow Assistant Secretary General, who I've had the pleasure of working with this past year. Everyone, please welcome Paul Keaton.
Thank you, Daniel. My name is Kalkeetan Akok, and I have had the privilege to serve as one of the 4 Assistant Secretary Generals for Session 48. Each year, SDRJMUN selects one distinguished individual who has demonstrated significant advancements in the field of diplomacy and national affairs. This year, SDRJMUN is able to hear from a speaker who has applied innovative and diplomatic principles on a global level. Tamara Cunningham is the Assistant Vice Chancellor for Global Initiatives at UC San Diego, where she leads the university's internalization efforts. With over 20 years of experience in higher education, she previously served as Associate Vice President for Global Initiatives at New Jersey City University. Ms. Cunningham holds a master's degree in Communications and Information Studies from Rutgers University and is pursuing a doctoral degree in Educational Leadership at St. Peter's University. She is committed to promoting diversity, equity, and serves on the board of directors for NAFSA, Association of International Educators. Her work reflects not only leadership, but a deep humanitarian commitment to building a more just and connected world. Please join me in welcoming Tamara Cunningham.
Thank you so much. Good morning, young leaders, delegates, advisors, and guests. Many thanks for the invitation to be here today. And congratulations to all of you who were instrumental in curating such an amazing conference for these young delegates. What an honor it is for me to be here today and to lay eyes, I guess, on the future leaders of our world. As I look out, and as I'm here today, I'm inspired, I am encouraged, and I am really, truly grateful for your participation in this year's San Diego Regional Junior Model United Nations Conference. I want to really start by dealing with the elephant in the room today, and that is to say that we are in indeed very challenging times all over the world. We are faced with humanitarian crises, global equity issues, and human rights concerns, among many other things, and the list goes on. In times like these, we need a glimmer of hope, and I believe that these young future leaders, they are our glimmer of hope. And so, as you are our hope, we are on this journey of humanity together. I want you all to ask yourself on this journey, who am I and who are we together? What is my purpose for existing on this earth in this vast interconnected world? And who are we as a people and what is our collective purpose? I would like to offer that part of the answer lies in one powerful, timeless phrase, we the people. We the people. These words are not just ink on a paper or echoes from a distant past. They really are the heartbeat of a world that we have dreamed. It's a heartbeat of a world that struggles, but also yearns to become something greater than the sum of its parts. These words, young leaders, are the foundation upon which we build a better today and a better tomorrow. You might remember that these words, we the people, come from the very beginning of a dream rooted in justice, in equity, in liberty, and in boundless potential of collective action. In 1787, the framers of the U.S. Constitution started with these words, we the people. It was not just a declaration, but it was a call to unite us. We, the people, a reminder that we are indeed stronger together than we are apart. We, the people, echoes the belief that every voice, every hand, and every heart has the power to shape not just America, but our entire world. And today, as we gather here to discuss the great challenges of our time, and that's what you'll do, let us remember that we, the people, we are the architects of peace. We are the defenders of our rights, and we are the healers of humanity. We, the people, these words are not bound by borders, which is why our work extends and expands beyond borders. They are not limited by time. Today, they live in this generation. They live in all of you. And so, yes, the young people of the San Diego Junior Model UN, you are called to answer that same question. How will you respond to the challenges facing our world today? As we reflect on the challenges we face, from humanitarian crises to the struggle for peace, for global equity, human rights, environmental sustainability, we must ask you, what will your contributions be? Leaders, as you participate in this year's conference, I encourage you to be deeply engaged in this work. Listen compassionately, think critically, work collectively. Don't be distracted by the negative rhetoric around the challenges, but be inspired by your calling and the calling of those around you to this great mission. It is a mission that calls us to act and to react with compassion, with wisdom, with courage, and with great conviction. It is a call to do what Mahatma Gandhi has urged us to do, to be the change that we wish to see in this world. It is a call to work together across differences, to rise above despair, and to build a future of peace, justice, and equity together. So today I urge you, young leaders, to let your light so shine. Be the beacon of light and hope at this very critical time in history. One of my favorite 80s pop artists, Cyndi Lauper, sang a song entitled, and if you are a bit older in my generation and you remember this, the song was called True Colors, and it said, I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors shining through. So don't be afraid to let them show. Your true colors are beautiful like the rainbow. So, look that up. If you don't know Cyndi Lauper, look her up in the 80s. I urge you, young leaders, to show your true colors. I see you. I see your true colors. I see who you are, and I see who you will be in the future. And that gives me hope for the future. We, the people, are the antidote. You are the cure to the world's most pressing issues. It starts here. It starts now. Let's get to work. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that insightful and inspiring speech, Ms. Cunningham. My name is Nia McLaughlin, and I have had the amazing opportunity to serve as one of the 4 Assistant Secretary Generals for Session 48. I want to take some time to thank everyone who has come out to support delegates and SDR-JMUN for this year's conference. These are people who have supported their delegates through position papers, resolutions, and the rest of conference preparation. I for a fact know that my experience as a delegate at this very conference would have not been the same without the instruction and aid of the people around me. These 2 days are a culmination of a year of work, that could not be possible without outside support, and we can't wait for delegates to not only showcase their hard work, but their growth as well. Without further ado, I want to introduce Janet Ann, our Secretary General for Session 48 of SDR-JMUN.
Delegates, advisors, and esteemed guests. Good morning. My name is Janet Ann, and as your Secretary General, it is my honor and privilege to welcome you to the 48th Annual San Diego Regional Junior Model United Nations Conference. 48. That's a big number, delegates, especially considering this conference is probably older than most of your parents. 48 years ago was 1977. In that year, the Soviet Union launched 2 crew members on the Soyuz 24 space station mission. The massacre of Atosha killed 5 people in Spain during its transition to democracy. Scientists discovered that Uranus had rings. The Beverly Hills Supper Club in Kentucky was engulfed in fire and resulted in 165 deaths. Australia defeated Great Britain by 1 point in the Rugby League World Cup. Orlando Bloom, Shakira, Kanye West, and Tom Brady were all born, and Elvis Presley and Bing Crosby died. The Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, a collective defense treaty, was disbanded. The Ethio-Somali War began. The U.S. launched the Voyager 2 and Voyager 1 spacecraft. Smallpox was eradicated. In 1977, we were stressing about math tests, graduating high school, getting married, worrying about climate change, fighting, laughing, crying, celebrating, dying, and making history, just like we are today. A recent quote I read said that the world has never been worse and it has never been better, and I think looking back on 1977 shows that pretty well. For as long as history has existed, we've been destroying and making better, but sometimes it can seem like we're doing more destroying than making better. I'm sure many of you were saddened or even shocked while researching some of these agenda topics, and I can remember as a delegate, I was too. But there is something that gives me hope for the world and for the future, and that is you. Because also in 1977, delegates like you attended the first ever session of the San Diego Regional JMUN Conference. They entered their committee rooms, arms full of their resolutions and speeches, albeit entirely handwritten instead of printed, and notes from their late night research excursions, albeit at libraries with books instead of on Google, but their minds filled with the same excitement, nervousness, terror, and or determination I know most of you feel right now. For 48 years, middle and high school students like you have gathered from around San Diego to argue over issues even adults can't solve. Delegates, I want to say thank you. You made the choice to join JMUN, whether it was this year or in years prior, not knowing what exactly it required of you, and stuck with it until now. You spent long hours researching and writing position papers and resolutions for problems on the other side of the globe, which have no personal effect on you whatsoever, but you choose to care anyway. You made it to conference, and for these next 2 days, I hope each and every one of you will see the time and energy you have invested these past 7 months pay off. But it will only pay off if you take the action required. Take it from me as a 6th grader. At my first JMUN conference, I was scared out of my mind and made a grand total of 2 speeches and 0 comments over 2 days, all the while staring down at the mountain of research and pre-written speeches I had prepared. Delegates, you too have hopefully prepared a lot for this moment. Now I urge you to learn from 6th grade me and not to let fear hold you back. So this is my encouragement to you, delegates. The world is simultaneously getting worse and getting better, but without the efforts of diplomacy, a skill you will practice today, the world would be getting worse much faster. Our world needs diplomacy. Our world needs peaceful solutions, not violent ones. Our world needs leaders, and seeing all of you here today, I see those leaders. With that, I would like to open the floor to a motion to open the 48th session of SDR-JMUN. Are there any points or motions at this time? Cool.
Motion to open session 48.
Thank you, Cole. We'll take this opportunity to vote on the proposed. For the motion of opening the 48th session of the San Diego Regional JMUN Conference, all in favor?
Aye.
With an overwhelming majority, this motion passes, and as Secretary General, I declare session 48 of JMUN now open. Thank you, and I wish all of you a rewarding conference ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cole Richardson, a junior at Patrick Henry High School, and I have had the privilege and honor to serve as an Assistant Secretary General to the 48th session of JMUN. This is my 6th year involved with JMUN, and I'm so excited to see all the new faces rise as leaders of this program. I've attended many different conferences throughout my journey in Model UN, but have yet to see a conference so open and learning focused as JMUN. I hope that over these next 2 days, all delegates here will work together and come out of their shells, gaining an experience that they will take into their futures. However, before we transition into debate, I have a few reminders. As you all have settled into your seats, you may notice the wonderful venue that UCSD Extended Studies has provided for us. We ask that you respect this venue, not misusing any supplies provided, picking up any trash, and in general, treating it with respect. We would like to thank the whole of the UCSD Extended Studies staff for allowing us to use their space and for helping us when we can't figure out the projector manual. Also, I want to make sure all delegates remember you will be discussing sensitive topics that may have some real-world bearings on other delegates in your committee. Please be respectful. Any instances of discrimination or any language with clear malintent will result in your removal from committee. Please help us maintain a welcoming environment and talk on the basis of the policies of nations and not on the character of delegates. As for some general notices, know that delegates are not allowed into the building during lunch, as doors will close 5 minutes after lunch begins and open 5 minutes before lunch ends. Additionally, JMUN does have a no-tech policy during committee, but feel free to use your devices during lunch. And finally, in the unlikely event of an emergency, delegates, please refer to your head chairs, who will provide you with instructions and guide you to safety. Thank you for listening. Now please turn to your head chairs so you may begin committee.